Okay,
Hi everyone, good evening. We have 2 minutes to begin. Jai Baba Nawaz, welcome. We'll wait for more people to gather. I'm so excited with this session because it's the first time it is happening with two people in one frame and with this amazing, amazing soul with me today. You've done the share. You've done the share. It's not started. It's not good. It's 1 minute more for us to go.
So it's not live.
It's live. We are live.
Yes, yeah, right now, since there's a transition time, right? Between what you're saying and that's going to be there.
Yeah, they will know that. They will be actually what they listen. All right, so namaste and welcome everyone to this beautiful day of 23rd of February. It is a very highly energetic day today. It also happens to be Ekadashi according to the Hindu calendar. And we have this beautiful, beautiful, loving soul, Dr. Neetika Modi, with me, a very, very dear friend. And we met through another dearest, darling friend, Rupali Mehra, my soul sister from another planet and time. And here we are to do our first live together, the art of enjoying the ride of life. So, Dr. Neetika Modi, to the audience for some words from you before we begin.
It's such an honor to be here with Roshni at her place, which is so peaceful, mystical, and there's some great healing energy right here. The minute you walk in, you know you're going to go out a transformed individual. So, yeah, it's an honor that she said, why don't we do the live together from her house? And I was like, why not? Looking forward to a fun interaction with a very strong woman.
You know, we often discuss or tell each other about how life brings us down. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
how life is crashing us, or वो कहते हैं ना जमीन पैर तलों से जमीन खींच गई and all of that, and there are so many things that are there in its kind of pessimistic negative connotation, you know.
Yes.
And when we were discussing about this roller coaster also, it was like oh, roller coaster might make some people sad. I said no, this is about the roller coaster, that life is not a straight line, because when it is a straight line the doctor declares you dead.
True. Even
Right.
on an ECG, it's
Right.
a straight line means you're dead.
Means you're dead.
flatlined. Yes.
The ECG tells that only when the graph is going up and down that this dude is living.
Absolutely.
So the roller coaster of life actually is that beautiful graph. You hang in there, you sit in there, hold that bar,
Yep, true.
holding on to your values, holding on to your principles, holding on to God, holding on to divinity, and there begins the ride, and somebody presses the button, and then the roller coaster begins.
So true, Roshni. I feel that there's deep purpose to our life's journey, and if we begin to learn to understand it, trust it, believe in it, and then accept it, we'll go more easy on it. The minute we understand that this is coming out of some teaching, something that we need to learn out of the difficulties that we are going through, we accept it better. And when we accept it better, we go much, much in tune with everything that's coming our way. We begin to flow with it rather than resist it. And that's the only way to go with life, because we may plan so much and then suddenly, who knew that 2020 was going to come upon us? Did anybody know about the COVID thing? So there's the only thing we can prepare is a right attitude, a right mindset to deal with whatever life throws our way.
True, true. And two of us sitting here, are people where somebody could look at us and feel nothing is wrong, and that's how my entire life in films and media to everywhere it was. Like right till the last straw of being in the hospital, also, I was with a mobile phone from the MRI trying to coordinate a release of a movie, and the doctor had to throw the phone away. So people like seeing so many similar lives, that there are people where from the outside you don't even come to know any like blink of an eyelid wrong that could be possibly going on in their life,
So
because
true.
their outside doesn't show it, and inside there could be a bochal, there could be like a whirlpool of things that could be going on, and you will never ever know. And I felt through my life that somewhere God is teaching me that art of, it's not about putting on a facade of saying I love you when you don't love the person. That's not the thing. But to be joyous and cheerful in the surrenderance of life, whereby you are not letting what is going on affect the part of service, the part of what you have to do in life. And you are learning through that process of how to handle it well.
So true. This is something we're not taught in school. There's so much focus that is given only to IQ. I just feel it's time we talk about SQ and EQ, because the most brilliant of minds have really. I knew this kid who committed suicide. He was intelligent to the core, but couldn't deal with failures, couldn't deal that the company shut down with COVID. So it's so sad that we are just not mentally and emotionally equipped to handle failures. We've created this situation where we feel where today there are awards for coming last in class. I mean, so that the child doesn't feel bad. So the way the world is turning out, so I feel we need to ingrain a lot more um, qualities in the children, where we talk about emotional healing. We talk to them about it's okay not to do well in everything in life, to accept failures. If we learn a lot through our failures, I think if you just keep going up, 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 and you've not seen failure, then how does it make you strong? It's only through difficulties, it's only through failures that one gets up stronger. That your great symbol also for phoenix rising from the ashes. You can only rise when you've fallen, and it's so important to ground you in life. Those who have only had the upward incline do not know how to deal when life throws you a wrong card. So, as parents, I think it's our complete duty to not just keep everything with a rose colored glasses for our kids and attune them to the sad and the bad and how fortunate we are. With that comes gratitude. Each time a child says, "Oh, I don't have this," please show them what the other kids don't have and the excess of what they do have in their life. So I think, yeah, life skills of gratitude, of acceptance, these are big, and these need to be instilled in the early years.
True, very true. And a couple of things that you said is so ingrained in the entire work of these 11 years, Nitika. When first, with the entire journey after 23 years in films and media, I had this thought, who in their sane mind would come to me for spiritual advice?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
why would anybody come to a person who has partied every single day for 18 years of life, come for spiritual guidance? And in 2010, 2009, when all of this was happening, 2010, when things were growing, there was no concept of spirituality being work, or this has to become a profession, or this has to be the work I have to do. There was no thought as such. There was no clue where life is leading, me to.
yeah.
And I always say this, and I would retaliate this part, that isn't, this wasn't a choice when my father had inheritance for me, or I had a very rich background where
Yeah,
I would be pumped in, and I would say, okay, now I've done all of this for passion for 23 years, and now let me shift to what's more in life. It wasn't
yeah,
so. It was in the darkest patch of my life, and I would say more, not even ground zero, deeper than ground zero,
right.
where
Yeah,
total financial wipeout, relationships, all those people, 5,000, 10,000 people on my phone list who I would call friends, just like our social media has only one category, friends, you know,
yeah,
and that would
yeah.
be my life's category. I realized that this category is actually a wish-wash word,
Absolutely,
you know, and
absolutely.
I always felt that deep gratitude that it is these downs in my life. I was telling you just in the afternoon that I felt there was no illness or anything that I actually didn't go through, from fractures to accidents to this to that. And I always felt those were the dips. That roller coaster dip which was there truly told me who are the real people around me.
So true.
It
So
gave me, it was like an auto calibrator, a barometer to show who are the real people to be there in my life and who were not meant to be,
yeah, yeah.
you know. And it was through that lens of seeing each and every dip or each and every dark tunnel as a blessing in
Yeah,
disguise. And why disguise? Disguise is because most of the times it is hidden behind this facade of the bad event, and we
absolutely.
cannot see it unless the gift box of the blessing is open.
So true. So true. So, I'll go back to two words which are very pertinent to Shirdi Sai Baba. He always said Shraddha, Saburi. Shraddha means deep faith, Saburi means patience. So if you approach life with a deep faith that there's some higher force, a higher energy controlling all of this, and that you take away the ego of I, and you let it be that there's something higher controlling your life. Have faith in that. Have patience that
Mm.
what you're going through is only for your own upliftment, is only for bettering you and your journey. And silence. There's a lot of learning in silence.
True.
There's a lot of growth. Growth
True.
only happens in silence. And yeah, so I would say, Roshni, that I mean, I've heard of you being that crazy party woman who could, you know, create a noise and flurry in a boardroom meeting, and or make all the men look up to you while you would put your point across. From being at such a high level corporate job to coming down to spirituality and being totally peaceful and in sync with everything that's happening, what's been the single largest transformation in you that you have seen?
I think I would, in earthly sense, I would use the word grounding. I can say that
Yeah.
because from that entire, the flying zone of life, when you are high about, you're like this eagle, who doesn't know what earth is,
Hmm.
of sorts, in a way. Not that I would fly high. I feel I was always caught with the grace of God, and very well held with love and mercy. So to I would put the word as that, even being in the industry, in the thick of everything, the thick of glamour, the thick of ego, the thick of insecurities, everything. And coming from humble backgrounds of being from a lower middle class family, very, very kind of meager beginnings. Let me put as humble is not the right word to fit in there. I would say that God's hand was holding me through. Otherwise, if when I retrospect that even while I was partying every single day of my life, I was never pushed to try even a drink or a smoke.
Mhm.
Today, peer pressure is one of the biggest things that
Mhm.
kind of takes people astray. That oh, usne bol diya, this one told me, this one pressured me, so I had it, so I tried it. But what is it besides God's grace that I can attribute to? That parting with the biggest of the people in life,
Mhm.
with God's grace, I never had an untoward event.
And that's an important point, I think, Roshni, because very often when we are down in the dumps, a lot of us begin to seek the crutches of some kind of addiction. And it's all out there. It's all there in plenty, whether it's alcohol, which is so it's so cool to drink,
Yeah,
it hasn't got that same negative impact that drug addiction has. Well, as I feel alcohol is as much responsible for your slide down in life. So for all those souls who are out there and who are going through a tough phase, I would say cling on to a dear friend, somebody you can talk to, seek help in many other ways instead of finding a crutch that's going to take you further down. It's um, to get addicted, I think, to anything in life, accepting the power of God and the power of the universe, is showing how soft you are as a target of the world and its many pleasures. So, one of the biggest things that we read in Vedant is how to ground yourself. And I again come back to these things don't, these things is not something you can grow overnight. These things have to be ingrained from early childhood, in at home, at school, that you have the human body is so amazing. It can recover, the mind can recover from everything.
absolutely.
The health, like most often bad health is because of stresses, it's because of wrong lifestyles, it's because of overworking, it's because of so many other things we don't
Yes,
attribute it to. And we go searching for treatments with medicines and other things, and then we get stuck and sucked into that whirlpool. So rather, if we begin to look at ourselves, that's why I said the human body is so amazing that we have a sixth sense, which very few of us are even ready to spend time with, getting to know us. And
true.
today, with the new social media and so much out there, that people are spending more time in noise. I thought for me, the lockdown was a great time because
True.
it helped me internalize. It made me, focus more on my purpose in life. It made me look into things that I didn't have time, being so busy, being busy. That's
True.
another thing that happens with most of us.
True.
So, internalizing, spending some time with ourselves, spending time in nature, journaling, writing down, I think all of these right away give us the next day when we look at what we wrote the previous day, it tells us what are our points we need to work on and
True.
how not to let that roller coaster affect your mind that it takes you further down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is, see, everything actually, every healing is regression. You would say people just know about the past life because again there is noise around it, right?
Yes.
There is so much of jazz around spirituality, but spirituality is all about roots, coming back to the simplistic roots of our life, to dip into that intrinsic nectar of that inherent love of God that is there, to
Hmm.
emerge as our true selves. And it
Absolutely.
takes so much for me. There are so many frameworks to spirituality. There are so many things for which I myself put up a disclaimer. Like I strongly put up this disclaimer of this instant third eye opening and instant this and instant that happening, because there is no instant coffee and instant noodles in divinity. It's persistent, consistent, diligent work on ourselves that we need to do with the mind, body, and spirit that will only turn around to create that true transformation. Divinity is all about co creating. No work that I do is about, shh,
Magic.
Nitika, now you are well, now please go home. Sab kuch theek ho jayega. No, that is not what divinity is all about. Divinity is the GPS that can guide us,
Yes.
but the driving we have to do. The GPS dot does not move unless you drive when you are at the signal. And that's what divinity is all about.
Absolutely.
It is about co creating and co working with God, whereby you are detached from the results and the outcome. You have done your best, and then you are leaving that rest in the able hands and wisdom of God.
Fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. It
Beautiful.
says that Swadhyaya Yoga. So there's the different ways that a man can achieve perfection, where Lord Krishna, while speaking to Arjun, um, talks about what would make a perfect human. And in that he says that karma karo, do your work, do whatever you have to do, but keep away the fruits of the work. That's when you offer your work to the feet of the God and say that I have done what was my thing, and now whatever comes out of it, I will accept. A lot of us do something already with a point of view that I need this, and that's why I will do this. That's where the purpose in life gets skewed. So, most of us just exist, we don't live. And I tell you, once we find our purpose in life, it's like a lot of time I get asked, how do you have the time or the energy to do all this that you're doing? And I don't feel that at all that I'm doing too much. I feel I still have more time to do more.
We are exactly on the same plane with that, because this question is kind of being hit at me at least once or twice in 2 to 3 weeks from random people. And for me, every day it is that it is God doing it.
Yeah.
He's just utilizing this physical vehicle, which
Yeah.
is the body, and it is God doing it. And each one of us who thinks we don't have time for ourselves, we don't have time for this, we don't have time for that, I always let all the students or clients bring yourself to that one thought. Every inventor, every freedom fighter, every innovator, every artist, every multi-billionaire, all of us, every pauper and beggar, we all just have the 24 hours for no one. And in life, there is no time management,
Yeah,
technically speaking.
I
It's
think
priority management
absolutely.
of what in the basket is to be done first, what in the basket needs to be taken on later. And it is just amazing that when we start prioritizing of what needs to go where, you can do so much more.
Absolutely.
It is like a thali.
Huh.
If actually you have to think, you can't eat all of that. But with the amount of portion control, as we say, the thali is spread in such a way that you are able to enjoy 10 things at one go.
Absolutely.
And that's the concept of priority management. And coming back to just what you said out of the Gita, I have not read the complete Gita, but the essence of it, the core of it, always tells me that it is not just a religious book. Gita is a way of life, and there's so many discourses of Meher Baba. And after reading Baba's literature, as I told you the other day, we were laughing about it, that I'm not a voracious reader. And before my whole transformation was taking place, there was no airs of spirituality dur dur se, besides going to my Ganpati temple and Ganpati being my best friend, and putting him on Chaturthi all decorated for the love that I have for him. So there was no who am I, what is my deeper purpose, ऐसी कोई questions थी ही नहीं life में. So I wanted to go to Cannes and Filmfare stage and win Filmfare awards and make films. Yeah. So this entire part of my life was not in my script.
Absolutely.
I never knew it was existing. So it is so beautiful when you are actually realizing that you are enacting a play written by somebody else. You thought you are the director producer of this entire play, and then you come crashing down knowing that no, there is somebody else governing the whole thing.
See, I think the universe is a very intelligent universe. We are all exactly where we're supposed to be. I keep saying that you won't find a coconut tree up in the hills in the mountains like you won't find a pine tree by the sea. So we all are exactly where we're supposed to be to learn our life purposes. And somewhere we begin to own our reality. We begin to say that, oh, I can do this, oh, I can do. Where the matter of fact is, we have no control over any life situation. So brings us back to who is it that can help us with this. I always feel that each one of us, if we are going, like today, we have the GPS. If we are going from one place to another, we have a GPS that will guide us. Similarly, in life, we all need a guide. We need a mentor. We need a life coach, or we need a guru. The guru is your connect to the divine. The guru is someone you can ask and ask. And the Hindu philosophy, the Vedantic way, is you don't have to feel embarrassed or shy in asking questions from your guru, because only when your antaratma is completely, when the insides of you is completely placated with all your
True.
questions, will you truly transform.
Absolutely.
So that's where the guru comes in. When you have a guru in life, you're just so blessed. And very rarely have I seen that you can go seeking a guru. When the time is right, when you're ready for the divine intervention, the guru will come in front of you. That's how it's always been. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think all we can do, instead of going and seeking out, very often, another question that comes my way is, oh, you live in the world of glamour, and you live in the world of celebrities, and you're doing, uh, skin and hair and teeth transformation work. How could you be talking on spiritual transformation? Or how could you be talking on mental health? So this is a question that more and more dentists and doctors are asking me now. But that's where I believe that the holistic approach to health comes in, where we understand that a part can never be healed unless the whole is healed.
Healed. Absolutely.
Most pains begin in the mind.
Absolutely. I give this example to this so many times in our corporate workshops and all, that when your tooth is aching, yeah,
Mhm.
and if I'm feeling uneasy, my tooth is aching, and I want to lie down, I want to rest, I'm feeling feverish because my tooth is aching. Now, what has the entire body with the arms and the legs and everybody got to do with this tooth? Who's like right tiny, right in there? What has it got to do? But see how in harmony all these siblings are, which is called the body. Because that little sibling called the tooth is unwell, all of them start collapsing.
Absolutely.
And feeling uneasy, taking on the energy of the tooth. Oh, the tooth is not well. Oh, let us all shut down. Otherwise, this idiot is going to play monkey mind and going to do 10 other things, and the tooth will not get time to heal. So the entire body starts shutting down because they want to support the tooth to heal. How intelligent is that divinity?
Absolutely.
You take a medicine, you take it from the same throat, it goes into the esophagus, it goes into the same intestine, or all of us. Who is telling the medicine that you are for the leg, and you are for the migraine, and you are for the knee, and you are for the stomach, and you are for the constipation?
Yeah.
Who is telling?
Yeah.
Yes, there is science, but that entire part, which I always say, and for me, it is important that we awaken to this truth. And I want to work with all the doctors in the world to say that spirituality is not science competition, but spirituality and science are siblings. We
Well
have
said.
created the rift in them, just as we have done divide and rule for so many things.
Yes. Well
And
said.
when these two giants meet, we will be able to help humanity at an unbelievable, unimaginable level to go into the next dimension of life. And that unless and until these two siblings work in harmony for the whole that you were saying, which is also the part of our company of holistic well-being, which is WHOLEISTIC,
Yes.
is when you treat mind, body, and spirit as one. How about asking you which body part do you love the most out of your full body, and which are you ready to cut off right now? How can you?
Amazing. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You cannot say, oh, I love my legs more than my hands. It's okay if the hands can go.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
say that, right? Because each and every part has their ahmiyat, has their purpose, just as we do. Being born.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And again, life purpose. You must have also come across so many people with this question. Oh, what is my life purpose? All these people right now going to life purpose. I think there's no jazz about life purpose. We all are not the Dalai Lamas, Mother Teresa's, and Nelson Mandela's of life. How are we executing our existence?
Yeah.
Is the purpose of life. For somebody, the purpose may be to just rear brilliant children with values and principles who will become tomorrow's leaders.
Absolutely.
For someone, maybe to motivate someone down the lane and create a little group for women. For someone, it can be to teach people something.
Yeah.
And for some of us, it could be to go and do something more larger. But none of us is without a purpose. Nothing in the universe happens ever, as I say.
Yeah.
You know?
I would just say that I think for all of us, the one thing that should be common is the ability to love.
Absolutely.
The single most common thread in purpose of life for everyone should be love, peace, and forgiveness. If each one of us begins to learn to live that, you can imagine what a beautiful world we would be in,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
where there's no judging, where there's no you did this to me, where you take responsibility that you did this to me, probably because somewhere, sometime back in some life,
Life.
I did something to you. When you take the onus of whatever you're going through in life, instead of cribbing, he's like this with me always, he's like this, she's like this, and why does this keep happening? How about turning the table and say, why is this happening to me? And what can I do to change that? The minute you accept that you are your own guiding light, you begin to change a lot of things, and instead of why would you give the key to your happiness in someone else's hands?
So today, some of my sparkling angels who are listening on the other side would be seeing that you are speaking my words and how we both are on the same plane. Even though nothing of this is discussed, we have just plugged ourselves in front of the laptop and we are just speaking out. We just decided that we are going to speak on life as the roller coaster and the art of handling this roller coaster ride. And that's about it. Beyond that, we were like free flow.
There's no time. There's no time to think on what.
We have the same 24 hours.
Yeah.
And
so coming back to your time thing, Rashni, I feel the only thing given equally to everybody is time when they are born. Now, what you do with that is your responsibility. You can choose to just let it evaporate or maximize it. And there was this great video I was watching about a professor telling a group of students on time management and how to choose things, where he took a big glass jar and put stones in it and sand and pebbles.
Do you eavesdrop? Have we been as souls eavesdropping on what we are doing, kind of a thing?
I don't know, probably
because
some life.
Because this video is in every workshop that we do.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my god. And you know
it's
how much
uncanny.
I get on Facebook.
No, it's uncanny. I'm telling you, you may not believe it, but seriously, it is like we've taken each other's words and we've put the morsels into each other's mouth, and we're just speaking the same language of love. And just what you started with was a nugget. So I have these daily life nuggets that I've been doing since quite some time. And just 4 days back is when I did the IQ, the EQ, and the SQ nugget. Just 4 days back.
Okay.
About the happiness quotient, when I had a live with Aarti Sarur from Parisarasha about the happiness quotient of life. And I truly believe that that's how it is, because the IQ, the EQ, and the SQ form the headquarters of life, which is the HQ, which is the happiness quotient. And unless and until we can come in complete acceptance of this life, the good, the bad, the ugly, not the Western movie, but the life. And then it is, while embracing it, and exactly the words that I keep saying, turning the table. Instead of saying, why did he, she did this to me? What have I got to learn out of this?
The minute you understand the lesson that's coming your way, your circumstances, your life will change.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's where also this, I always give this analogy. You cannot put an orange juice into a mixer and expect an apple juice to come out. You cannot put orange seeds into the field and expect apples trees to grow. You cannot put cactuses to sprinkle all over you and expect, sitafal trees to grow around you. So our life is exactly the same. That it is a seed that is sown in this or another lifetime, and we are reaping and seeing the full blown tree in another lifetime. And as you said that मैंने उसके साथ किया, karma wise actually it is not even with the same person. So the I may have done something with you does not mean that in my next life you are born in the same time. But the karma balance of that sanskaras is with me. I have to saturate or score off or exhaust those sanskaras with anybody in my karmic circle present during the other incarnation.
Oh, okay. That's
so
deep.
so I would be scoring off something. So if when I was in the hospital, I had those 18 doctors on panel pumping me with wrong medication. The thought was not why me or anything, but I did have this question: why would 17 doctors want to give me wrong medication altogether?
Yeah.
Why couldn't there be one of them who would say, "Oh no, this is wrong. Let's not do this, or let's stop this"? Why? And that was a beautiful thing that got answered, when I got back to life. I had this life death situation, and when I got back to life, the meaning of this entire thing which I'm sharing right now, that this seed is sown anytime. It may not be sown in this. We can say, oh, kitne bhale aadmi the, unhone kuch bura nahi kiya, nothing wrong, why poor thing it should happen like this. But our concurrent life is not the only life that we are living. We are living the sanskaras that we brought in. It is like a kitty, And there's this beautiful analogy of if you have an entire jar in front of you, and at the bottom you're putting rice, then you're putting masoor, then you're putting the dal, then you have some kankad, then you have something else, then you have the pulses, then you have some moong. Now, when you open the jar from down, what will fall down first? What if the jar first rice, dal? So if I open the jar from down, what will fall down first? The rice, because that's what is right at the bottom, right at the onset. And that's how the life is. The brownie points or the concord that we have brought forward as bank balance carried forward is what starts utilizing in the circumstances and the conducive playground of life that we are, where we are choosing who to be born to, which country to be born to, where to be born, so that it becomes conducive for the lessons that we are bringing in.
Yes.
It is like if a child wants to become a lawyer, then he will go to a law college and law school. He won't go to an engineering college. The conducive step is a law college to learn the law. And the same way, our karmic relationships are made conducive to what the soul is ordaining for the lessons to be learned. And thereby coming back to your beautiful statement that yes, that 100% ownership has to be there, because I ordained this. I ordained that these 18 people will do this to me for what I had to score off. Absolutely. What sanskaras I had to release at that point in time, what I had to balance, what I had to nullify, or whatever it may be.
Coming to it on a more personal level, the thing that really transformed me was the death of my father at a very young age. It was completely unacceptable that he could go so young. He was my He-Man, my Superman, and I was in my mid-20s. I just delivered a baby boy, and thing that kept knocking all the time was why me, why us. We want to put ourselves in the center of everything, and with that came a lot of struggle, depression. I had to look after my mom, who was of course very badly affected, my brother, who was younger and torn apart because of what had happened. So we were all trying to resolve the pain in our own way, and I didn't find anybody within my group of friends, family, or even outside who could give me any reasoning to why. In fact, I thought I was stronger amongst most of them but yet it led to me taking sleeping pills at night because I couldn't get sleep. I was always tormented with the fact, and with that was that there was wrong treatment done on my father that took his life. So all of this was planned. I had chosen the doctors. So there was a lot of, again, association that guilt that I was responsible. We like to take ownership
True.
of our life for
True.
everything.
True.
So that I was guilty, I was crying, I was miserable. And that's when I began to read up. And I haven't stopped reading since then. And it's only through um, great works of great saints that I could understand that, hello, let me take myself out of this equation. Why is
True.
everything around me?
Me.
Why is the universe centered around me? I'm not the only person who's lost a father. I began to look at children who've lost their father even before knowing whose child they were,
Right.
So
Right.
when you look out with that phase, that the people who are worst hit off than you, that's when you begin to get a lot more humble. Today, I look at it that, yeah, I lost my father, but I had the most amazing father, I had the most amazing relationship with him for the 25 years of life that he was there with me. And I have gratitude for that rather than crying or feeling bad that why did this happen. So
Mm.
it's the shift in how you look at the same situation.
Mm.
And that comes only with living, it only comes with learning, it comes with pain. To go through pain and transform is, I think, if you're going through any kind of pain, if you're going through any kind of struggle, take this as a big shift in your life's dynamics. Take this as something that is there for a reason. It's going to make you who you're going to be very proud of in the future.
Absolutely. And also, from this pain thing, there was this beautiful thing that had come into channeling in my early days when all this, dictation was going on in the head, and I had no clue where it's coming from. That in Bombay, especially, that term TDR is what we are aware of, where these old buildings are being made into amazing tower buildings and so on. I'm living in one, which is a redeveloped building, right? And it showed me and it told me that unless and until this dilapidated structure is destroyed to dust and ground, and not only just destroyed, thereafter you have to clean and clear the debris. You have to move the debris away from the ground. Then you have to start digging the ground 100 feet again to fill up the new foundation. And unless and until that happens, there is no resurrection. There is no aspect of the new dynamics, the transformation, or anything, so to speak. And it is not so that we have to always, we as humanity, I always say this with another analogy that has come, that our DNA is that unless and until we are thrown off the cliff, we don't shout rope, 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 rope.
Yeah.
So it's not that it has to be, you have to deliberately inflict pain and suffering on yourself to become something big. No, these are the karmic dynamics and they are there individually, subjectively in each one's life. And there is this funny thing I always used to say that, people say, learn from the mistakes of others. And I would always say, God has made me the other. Because it is that I'm learning from no one who has made the mistake, and God is making me the laboratory mongoose kind of a thing. But I'm going through it, and then everybody else will learn from this what I've come out of.
But that's a blessing.
And
right?
I would laugh at that time. I would laugh at that time with like a back fracture lying on the bed. I was like, this other is only me every time. Kind of. So all of these things which seemed laughable to me earlier, got more solid roots and got grounded and started merging into that one reality of whether I was aware of it or not. God was doing his job even when I was fancy flying with all my glamour struck and parties and events and muhurats and launches every single day. And still people think, I know people who talk and I know people who speak behind and say she's crazy. She's stupid. And where would she be in these 10 years if she had stuck around in media? I still have some very close people also tell me that.
But wow, Roshni, where are you today? I know you're handling so many organizations and you're working with so many NGOs and you're lighting up the world. If you'd let a few of our viewers know that how do you spend your day? What are the different, the different ideologies, the different organizations, and the different things you're working on?
The beauty what I saw, Neds, in this is that God, through all of this work, you said different organizations, different ideologies, that gave me to, I felt that Baba is bringing all of that to me to realize that all of this and everything and the nothing, as Baba says, is Him. That these may be just the different faces,
Mhm.
which another term of Baba is as beads on one string.
Yes.
And we are all religions, all faiths, all different kinds of people, all species. We are all different, beings. And we are, I would say, not even, I stopped using even the word different beyond a point last few years. Because we are not just different, we are unique.
Yeah.
And there is no high or low. And even though working with all of these dynamics, I realized that everything is all one actually. It is from the same philosophy and ideology of love that Baba is talking of, not being God fearing, but God loving. And to emit, and again, just 2 days back, nugget that I did is do everything which is based of love. Do not do anything in life which is based out of fear, guilt, or obligation, because then you have got a karmic baggage with it that comes along. And when you do out of love, it's freedom. When you do out of love, you honor that space that we are sharing and you ask God to step in. And so many times people have this that go in these small, small things where to call angels and God and all of that. But no, it reminded me of this beautiful story of Baba, which is written by one of his disciples, that when he says the same thing, it is that in fact, you have to call me in the smallest of the things, because it is in the smallest of the things where lies your ego. I can do this like this. ये तो मेरे बाएं हाथ का खेल है. ये तो मैं ऐसे कर सकता हूँ. The doership ego lies in those seemingly small things, and it is the small things of life actually which become mountainous. That small day-to-day thing, that's where this beautiful thing once in meditation has come. Habit is something that is happening with you bit by bit.
Absolutely well said.
And that is what is growing. That is what is transforming.
But yeah, see, that's the thing that, it's only in our darkest time, it's only when life gives us a bad hit, do we seek out spirituality or do we seek out God. I i was in no way anywhere close to spirituality till I lost my dad. I believed in Shirdi Baba. There was a deep connect with Baba. I always used to go and just prostrate in front of him, but that's it. It's only when you get hit that you realize that how he handholds you.
Absolutely.
And at that point, you begin to form a relationship with God. It could be that of a father, of a friend, of a child, of a lover, but form a relationship with God. And when you do everything knowing that he's got your back or he's standing next to you, you just begin to outgrow your ambitions. You begin to live out, you begin to manifest your dreams. And that's one thing I've seen happening. Like, some of the things just that have happened in my life are just so miraculous. Like, if I would come to you and say that, Roshni, show me this and do this magic, and no, but I can tell myself that I want this and I'm going to manifest this, that's when the real magic begins to happen. That you tune your frequencies, that your heart and your soul chakra is completely in tune with whatever you're getting, you're accepting it, and in gratitude you're seeking whatever it is he wants to give you. Up to मैं मांगती भी नहीं हूँ. I mean, what is there to ask? He knows. Sometimes I may ask something that would be totally blasphemous for me,
Absolutely.
So I don't ask anymore. I just say, God, just keep your hand over me. That's it. What more can we ask
Absolutely.
for?
Absolutely.
So,
and I don't know, I would, if 24 hours we sit together, God knows how many inch pinch we both need to do of things in our life. And that comes to me of dreams. So let me ask you. So Nitika is going to be realizing her very, very big dream. And in my film time, I had only heard of some directors, Atrangi directors working, people would say, use that word for them, of working on their scripts for 7 years and 8 years, and then another total of 10 years before it comes out and becomes a film, and so on. So here, my dear friend has been working on a book for last 9 years. Yes, 9 years. So the Shraddha and Saburi is what she walks the talk. And that is what connects us both, because both of us, and I also relate to that fact, because when I say that when God has put me on this side of the fence to do whatever that He's doing through me, it's not because I have read books or suddenly got far too many certificates to learn that. It is because God has helped me, held me to push that thick rope through the needle hole. And that's when today to hold a hand and say, have faith, this will change, means a lot of people conviction from the space that we come from. And that's what I see in Nitika as well. And we were like house on fire from the moment God made us, Baba brought us together. The very thing I would like her to share of what it takes to work on a baby, and 9 months for a baby and 9 years for this book. So let me ask Nitika, who doesn't look like a mother of two children, for all of you out there.
Two big boys, they
Two big
hate to be
boys.
called children
Okay,
anymore.
two
Okay?
big boys. Okay, they will not allow me in their house now when I go. Two big, boys.
Yeah.
Okay, teenage boys. So
One's finished his teen now. He's 21, the older one.
wow. Okay. There will be separate sessions on that of how to reverse ages like this. As Umar Khao bolte hain unko, right?
Yes.
Hindi. So I had a lovely sweet school story to that. So I will ask Nitika to share a little bit on this very mysterious, amazing book, and I see a great spiritual and philosophical connect to it. And just the way I take the Gita as the way of life, I think that's what her book is going to come as, to be the way of life and to know through fiction of how we can lead our lives well.
Yeah, so when I started this book years back, it wasn't something I had planned. I just started writing one day because I was enamored by my grandfather and my grandmother telling me stories. And I used to tell stories to my children, and I loved writing. I was always the editor of my college magazine and school magazine. So I just felt I could emote better. I always maintained a diary. So I just started writing without knowing which way this would go. And slowly, a lot of it just, I felt I was just holding the pen and was writing by itself. And then came the research. But what started off just as a science fiction somewhere began to transform into a lot of me having read so much on Vedanta. You are what you read more than what you eat. So what I was ingesting in terms of books and the kind of company I was keeping and the kind of gurus that were in my life, I was writing a lot of what they had told me, what was seeped in. So I was writing, and suddenly there was this mythology, though I hate to use the word mythology for a lot of us. Our scriptures are not mythology, they are history, they are documented. But now what I'm writing is, yeah, mythology, because we're all waiting for the final Vishnu avatar. And I never knew I would be writing on that. And the story just suddenly, and then one day, one of my gurus, my spiritual father, my guru, he told me, you're going to write something which is going to be mythology, magic, fiction. And I'm like, no way, my book is far away from that. And he said, you wait and watch. And yeah, 4 years later, I'm still writing it, and it's become a joke amongst my friends and my family, my kids. If I tell them anything like finish this project, they're quick to tell me, finish your book first. It's been long pending. And my friends are like, tell us the truth. When are you going to finish it? So the reason it's taken so long is because I'm writing about something which is I cannot write without without knowing each and every word that I'm writing. There's a lot of research that's going into it. I cannot write irresponsibly. I have to, now that I've decided that I'm writing this, there have been a lot of changes from the beginning till now. I know that I'm writing something which has taken a complete life turn in my life. The book has transformed me. And today I don't care. I don't care whether it becomes a bestseller or it just nobody picks it up. For me, I'm happy that it's changed me into who I have become.
Awesome.
Because I've learned, I have done a lot of reading, a lot of research, and a lot of living. I like I was telling you in our conversation just before we started that थोड़ा जीना पड़ता है ये सब लिखने के लिए. You have to live, you have to go through the grind to be able to write from your heart. So what I was writing 6 years back did not have that kind of emotion that my book has today. And today, like my brother told me the other day that now the book is ready. Please, or khichdi mat pakao, nahi to it'll be overcooked. We love it the way it is. So I decided, okay, pack up. I have this amazing editor who feels that we have reached our maximum because I kept changing it, kept adding that no, I can write a bit more, I can write a bit more. And today I have something that at least I'm very proud of. I can go to bed saying that I did my best with this. Now,
Beautiful.
whatever is the outcome, I leave it to. And a lot of times I just felt like I was the instrument. I was just writing what came my way. And there, I could write a whole book on the things that happened while this book manifested. It's like as if it's a blessing, like whether the name or anything of the book that's come across, it's been divine intervention.
And maybe you can, just like we are behind the scenes becoming a movie, you we can write, and that's what happened even while Angel Speak was going on, because there were so many things, and I tried to at least put 2, 3 important incidents into the chapters, but that itself was so incredibly unveiling of what took place, what transpired in those 6 years from the time that I started writing.
Yeah.
And to all of you who love writing or who want to write anything, don't think of this as, oh, I have to write a book and get onto it. Write something little every single day, and in no time, when you put your true heart and soul into it, that content will be applicable to reach out to more hearts. And you may, at the end of that 1 year or anything, have actually something that you can call a book. So don't worry about, don't judge yourself and try to just go and hit that goal, photo finish right there. And just be patient with yourself and be honest with yourself. That's more important. And do it out of a space of love, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it is like, when you throw water, it takes its own path, right? Wherever is the dhalan, wherever you are humble, wherever the intentions are right, wherever, this beautiful thing that we said, that time we are given is the same when we are and how we, there's this beautiful quote of Meher Baba that says that rains is like God's mercy, it falls upon everyone, but the soil, the soft soil soaks it in, where the hard mountain shows it off. So if we are on the high mountain of life, grace doesn't touch us. But if we are that vulnerable, soft soil, humble, grounded in the love of all creation, love of God, respect our values, the character of life, if that is there, then nothing can touch us. Then we become like this center point of the whirlpool, where everything is spinning around it, and the only still point is the center.
So well said.
And that's what the life's roller coaster is all about. So we will keep going for some more sessions that Neetika and I will do. And we have another third person also. Soon enough, we will be doing a trial session as well with 3 of us in the space. And stay tuned to that. And now we will get on to the last part of our session, which is the collective chanting. So every time, Neetika, our sessions, we try to end with collective healing chant that we all do, where people who are watching it now or even later on can contribute their energies to put into this chant for world healing, where we pray for love, wisdom, healing, and abundance for the entire world. And may we bow down to the ultimate truth that we are all one. I am one with her, I am one with you, and I am one with him. And that is what it is. So, everybody, please sit down. and we will begin our beautiful healing chant. We will repeat the chant today that we did sometime back in our live session as well. It will go as Ramadasa Sa Se Soham. So get ready, everyone. We'll do an intent prayer and then we'll begin the chant where we will chant for a few times till I'm guided and then we shall stop it. So, and before that, yes, as every time, we will chant Meher Baba's name for 9 times and then begin the chant. Please keep your hearts and thumbs up when you listen to the music. Close your eyes. We shall first chant Meher Baba. Meher Baba, 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 Meher Baba. We shall now do the intent prayer. May each one of our enemies contribute to the love, healing, and wisdom for all of world, all of creation. We give gratitude to all that was, all that is. A deep breath. Even if you are not chanting at your end, just intent and focus on the energy of the chant that I am doing and connect this to this healing that is going out into the world. Now, the chant. Sa se so hum. Ram Take 3 deep breaths. At the count of 10, you may slowly open your eyes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I hope you all enjoyed this session, and as much as we enjoyed chatting with you and with you all out there. So please, if you feel even one life can be transformed, we have shared and discussed, like, love, share, and comment right here, and we shall be happy to know what more do you want to know. We'll be back with our series of sessions very, very soon, and we'll be great to hear from you. What is it that you want to know? What are the topics that are in your heart? What are the things that we both can share with you and bring to you? So, if any of you would like to share anything in the comments of how you felt, what you felt through the session, through the chanting, right? And we would love to hear from you. If there are any questions, then please ask, and we shall try to incorporate them in our next session as well. Thank you, Binakshi, Archana, and everyone else who has been around. Thank you so much for watching this space. Stay tuned, like our page, follow me on Instagram, follow Nitika on Instagram as well, and stay tuned to some surprises and beautiful things that are up our sleeve.
Yes.
Right. So in love and light, loads of blessings to all of you. A very big namaste once again. The consciousness within me bows down to the consciousness within you. The potential within me bows down to the potential within you. The God within me bows down to the God within you. Thank you so much for being there with us. Jai Baba to all of you.